Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Lonnie.
With One Blessed Up. And today we're going to be talking about 21 reasons to buy bulk food long-term storage without being a doomsday prepper. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first one, which is, I wanted to start with what is bulk food. So let me try that again. Okay. Hi, I'm Tracy.
I'm Lonnie.
With One Blessed Up. And today we're going to be talking about 21 reasons to buy bulk food for long-term storage without being a doomsday prepper. So first we need to talk about what is bulk food. So when we talk about bulk food, we mean things like big containers of rice, things that you use, big containers of beans, big containers of rice. It could be like a
number 10 can of food.
Yep.
Of all different types.
Yeah, and it could even be something like a case of canned beans or something like that. So you're buying a lot of food that's supposed to last over a long period of time. So some of these bulk foods can last for a year or so, which, an opened can of rice, actually that'll last longer than a year, but an open, a can of beans. A can of beans, this one says it'll last to 2026. So that's 3 years as long as it'll last. That's pretty good long-term storage. But the other can.
Yeah.
This one is
This one has, I think they actually have it written right on there. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's 30 years.
Yeah, so that's legit long-term storage. Yeah. So,
and clarify, that's until you open it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Once you open it.
And these are sealed, so you can see that it's sealed like a can. So it's got that until you compromise that, break the seal. It's 30 years.
Right. And once you break the seal, you're going to have to store it into containers, and we'll do a whole nother video on that. But yeah, once you open it, you don't have any more long-term storage. It's now short-term. You need to eat it soon.
Yep. Time to go.
Yeah. So when you open a can of beans, you eat it right away.
Yeah, same thing.
When you open a can or a bag of rice, you generally want to consume it, pretty quickly. Not pretty quickly, but I don't know, within what you think, 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah, it could be later.
It might be.
Yeah, rice.
But we go through. We don't have a good measure of that because we go through a lot of rice.
Yeah, rice. The rice lasts a long time even when it's open. But something like a freeze-dried food, like this one that Lonnie's showing you. Once that's open, that's a freeze-dried long-term food storage. Once that's open, that freeze-dried food is going to want to suck up any available liquid in the air. So if you have any kind of humid environment, you want to get that stored into smaller containers ASAP. Otherwise, they're going to rehydrate and mold. So you want to eat them.
So extra benefit, we're in Phoenix, so.
Yes, we have time.
we have more time.
But you probably don't.
Nope.
Yeah, so when we talk about a freeze-dried bulk food, if you've never seen one before, this is actually
awesome.
Mushrooms. We love them.
Yes.
But they look like that. So it's it's dried. Right, and when you
not shriveled up. They're not dehydrated, right?
Right. So this is a freeze-dried. You can get dehydrated food as well. For example, let me do the freeze-dried first. But the freeze-dried is basically for freeze-dried food. The moisture, it's frozen, and the moisture is removed from it in the frozen state. So it keeps its shape, and it keeps its color, and it tastes like fresh when you dehydrate it. So it looks like it's completely dry. And then when you get ready to eat it, you just put it in some water. So you can put it in warm water if you want to. If you like to eat mushrooms, and I have before, you can just eat them straight like this as well. So they're delicious. They are actually pretty delicious.
Yeah, we're fans of mushrooms over here.
Yeah, especially these ones, these freeze-dried ones, which are great. So that's freeze-dried, okay? Then you'll have something that is dehydrated. So these are dehydrated, not freeze-dried.
Banana
chips. So the dehydrated ones, they're still dry, right? Because you want them to be dry, right? But they're shrunk. So these are much, much smaller than they would be if they were freeze-dried. So again, we talked a little bit about bulk foods in general. We talked about freeze-dried bulk food, which oftentimes is sold in bags or in number 10 cans. And then we've talked about dehydrated bulk foods, also sold in bags as well as in number 10 cans. So that's what we're talking about when we say bulk foods. And you don't have to be a prepper.
No.
Anyone can do this. We buy bulk foods because, like, for example, the mushrooms, we just throw away fresh mushrooms and we don't want to throw them away anymore. And sometimes if you can get them on sale, and we'll do another video on how to find them on sale and how to calculate if you're getting a good price, because it gets a little complicated, right? He's a great math guy, so I'll bring him along. But yeah, just we just rotate these out. So we buy a can, we put them, we take what we need whenever we're using it. Like we'll throw them in, we'll throw this in spaghetti.
Oh yeah,
throw some of them, not a whole lot of them, but the equivalent. Not fresh, you would throw in
What would
spaghetti.
you do? You'd chop up some fresh mushrooms, throw it in there. So these are already chopped, ready to go.
Yes. And so that's what we do, right? We used to use canned mushrooms, but then, I didn't have any more. And they got really expensive. And so now, and actually we found that we prefer the fresh ones. And then if we don't have the fresh ones, we prefer the freeze-dried ones if we can get them on sale. And the wonderful thing is if you do get them on sale, you buy like a ton of them.
Right.
And then
you still got it.
Yeah. Then
30 years.
Yes, lots of time, lots of time. But once you open it, you do have to repackage it so it doesn't absorb. Okay. So now that we understand what bulk foods are, let's talk about 21 reasons why you might want to buy it, even if you're not a doomsday prepper. So,
no foil hats over here.
Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
Why don't you start?
Okay.
You've been going so.
The first one is cost saving. So you can buy like, let's say you would buy like the rice, okay? Yes. So if I'm buying rice, I'm probably going to Costco to get like the 50-pound Costco bag that he has to haul out of the store because it's so much cheaper, right? As opposed to buying individual rice or rice that's already prepared, or rice that comes in the packet that you just have to heat up. Like that can get really expensive. Right. But to buy like a rice, like to get a cup of rice out of a bulk bin, usually you're going to pay like cents, like just kind of like pennies for like a cup of rice. As opposed to if you're buying it already pre-made, it's going to be like, it could be even like a couple dollars depending on, I saw these really cool bowls that someone in my family buys, not him, but someone in my family buys, that's rice that's already done and all you have to do is put it in the microwave.
It's a convenience tax.
It's a convenience tax, that's right. And I think those were like $1 or $2 per bowl from the Costco, whereas, this, it would be like maybe a quarter.
But then you have time to prep and everything. You got to put in the rice cooker.
Exactly. So there's a trade-off, right?
Yeah, always.
So the first thing is cost savings.
Yes. Second thing is less frequent shopping, because if you're getting all this great food and it's all prepped or it's all available to you, you don't have to go to the store all the time, every week.
And spend your gas.
And, and time.
Yeah, let's say you're making some spaghetti, right? And you don't have mushrooms, but you love mushrooms.
Yes, you gotta have mushrooms.
You either forego the mushrooms or you go to the store. But if you already have them here, you can just get them. Or if you have a canned one, you can just grab them from your food storage.
Yeah, so, you shop your storage.
Yeah, so for less, you save time, and you save gas, and you have it on hand.
Exactly.
All right, so number 3, emergency preparedness. Again, not doomsday prepper, but you never know. I mean, eggs a couple years ago, you couldn't get them at the store, and if you did, they were like 7, 8, 12, whatever, a lot of money per dozen. So if you have them on hand, in let's say a dried format, like eggs, and you can get them in the dried format, then you would have them ready whenever. So,
yeah, because I mean, we've had several different incidences throughout the U.S. that's caused eggs to spike, and you just never know when the next one is. And if you have this powder, the powdered eggs, then you're ready to go. Yeah.
Or if you can't get to the store, let's say you have a hurricane coming and the stores are closing, right? Then you have something available when you can't get to it. So emergency preparedness is the number 3 reason.
Number 4, food security. So security is a big thing. You make sure you have what you want and you need. And if you have to depend on trying to find it, and then it's all the shelves are cleared, or the prices are absorbent and you don't have food security.
Right. So we found most of us found this out during that C word that came a few years ago, right? Where there was like nothing on the shelves, right? And so if you have some long-term food storage, either, cans or whatever, bulk foods, you're going to be able to just have something when the stores may not have it. So
or they start rationing it. That was a new experience.
Yes, that was a new experience.
I think past generations have experienced rationing, but I think that's kind of the first for our generation.
Yes, yes. So if you like to buy like cases of Pepsi during that dreaded C word, you probably could only get a 6-pack or a 12-pack at
the eggs
times.
were the same thing.
Oh yes.
You only get 2 12-packs of eggs, and that was it.
Right.
And they were expensive.
Yes. So definitely food security. So number 5, kind of very along the same thing, food shortages. So again, we talked a little bit about food shortages with like the eggs being gone or things just not being available. And so you would have this in case you needed it during a food shortage situation.
Great. And number 6 is an inflation hedge. So we have all gotten used to that big I word, and everything is going up. And in no time soon is it going down. So we are readjusting to what things cost. And more likely, things are going to keep going up. So you get it now, you can secure your price and what you paid for it, and you don't have to pay a higher price in the future.
Yeah. I mean, some of the prices were up like 10, 20% in a given month. You would go and spend where you'd used to pay 50 cents for like a can of beans. Right now, I think they're running about 75 cents for the generic one. So yeah, if you bought this and it says it's good till 2026 and it's still on your shelf, you know, a year or two later, you locked in your 65-cent price or your 50-cent price instead of your 75-cent price and eventually dollar price, whatever this is going to go to. So if it's something that you like and you want to lock in the price, then yeah, this is a great way to do it.
And for me personally, it tastes just a little bit better when it costs less.
It tastes a lot better when it costs less. You're totally right. You're so smart. Okay, number 7. This is if you have like a large household. So sometimes you have a lot of people in your house, maybe for Christmas, or maybe you just have a large family. We have a family of 4, but I guarantee you it's really a family of 6 when everyone. It has always expanded.
Yes.
Like we've never had a family of 4. We've always had all the other kids come over to our house, which is totally fine with us. But then we have to be prepared, right? So having, extra or having something on the shelf when you have a large, party over means that you can cook for everyone instead of having to order that pizza. And pizza's expensive.
Oh, yeah. Talk about inflation.
I know. I think we just spent, what, $50?
Yeah, just 2 pizzas.
Just on 2 pizzas.
And they weren't like huge pizzas.
Yeah, but they were good.
They were good pizzas.
So supporting a large household or a large party of people.
Totally. So number 8, convenience. So it's nice to have it and not have to go look for it, not have to go buy it, not have to compromise or switch out. It's always there. It's super convenient. I love it. I love having it there, and I can make what I want to make.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll open up the fridge and we'll be like, "There's no mushrooms."
Yeah.
Now, it's not like we only eat mushrooms.
Right.
We just really like them in certain things like pizza and spaghetti and Alfredo and things like that.
Yeah.
So not having them and it's probably fresh on our minds, which is why we bought the bulk can.
Yep.
Okay, what are we on? Number 9. Number 9.
Yes.
This one is reducing waste.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a big thing for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Again, we're going to talk about the mushrooms, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the mushrooms, right? So this can, okay, this is what it looks like. We're just going to repackage these into like pint-sized jars, and we'll suck all the air out of them.
Right.
And I can do a video on that to show you guys how to do that.
That'd be fun.
And then we'll have them until this can is gone. Whereas my fresh mushrooms, if I don't use them within a couple days, then they go bad.
Yeah.
And they get gross.
Well, and I'd even say just for items for like, your strawberries, I do like a lot of the meal prep stuff, and I mean, there's a lot of waste associated with that. I mean, you got the stems and all that stuff. There's just that waste is all of it.
Yeah, but that's waste that happens anyways, though, right? Like the
True,
person
but
who's
you don't have to
doing
deal
that.
with it.
That's true.
It's not in our garbage.
Right.
That's
So
what I'm
reducing
saying.
your waste.
I guess I'm reading that one a little different, but hey, it's work. It's time.
It's good. I like it.
Yep. Okay, number 10. We're up to 10. Double digits. A nutritional variety. So you're not eating the same thing all the time.
Yes.
Right. I get it.
That's really
nice.
easy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you have multiple things, right?
Right.
And they're all ready for you whenever you need them. So if you might have a canned green bean, or you might have a canned Spam, right? You could eat, vary it up a little bit. You don't always have to eat the same thing.
Over
Whereas
and
if you're
over.
going to the grocery store and you always buy the bananas, right? You're always going to eat the bananas.
You're always going to eat them.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, having a little bit of variety.
Yeah,
is a
because
good idea.
the other thing with that, to speak to that, is like seasonality. Oh, I think that one's coming though.
That one is
It
coming. Oh, you cheater.
Oh, I didn't even look. I promise, I didn't look.
All right, so now we're on number 11. So let's talk about homemade meals. When you're making homemade meals, it's great to have the bulk food around. So you have your bulk flours, you have your bulk sugars, you have your bulk yeast, or whatever it is you're using.
Veggies. Great.
Your bulk veggies.
Yeah.
Yes, you're the cook.
Oh, I know.
Right.
Man,
so
it is nice. All the peppers and onions not prepped. I mean, you
Yes.
don't have to go prep them and everything.
Right. And I love having, like, let's say we have like the dried beans. We actually do prepare canned beans in the house. Instead of buying the canned beans, we make them ourselves.
Right.
So it makes it super easy to make the homemade meals. I'm an easy meal maker. He's a little more complicated.
Things are complicated.
Next.
Okay, so we are on, you're doing this, 12.
Oh, good one.
Yes, environmental impact. So let's just think about all that, every fresh veggie, fruit, all the containers that they're in.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh my gosh.
Everything's got to have a container,
Plastic container
and a
or
plastic
something.
container, a wrapper, you know. And so by doing this, less of that is necessary. At least, you know, for what we see.
Imagine how much packaging you save by doing this.
Yeah, strawberries too. The eggs. Just think about the eggs. I mean, you know, you got eggs.
Yeah.
All those foam containers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you just save all the containers. You reduce the environmental waste. So true.
Oh man.
So true.
Big one.
All right, number 13.
Here it is.
Seasonal availability. Maybe you should talk to this
Yeah,
one.
well, that's you know, a big thing for us. So we always encourage the kids is to, you know, shop what's on sale, because usually that's what's in season.
Yes,
So
that's
usually
what's cheap.
and it's cheap. So and it's usually seasonally. It tastes better.
Right.
So you don't buy a peach out of season.
Right.
Because it doesn't taste as good. You get a smaller peach, or just not as flavorful.
Right.
So you have some seasonal items that you don't usually get, like strawberries aren't in season all year, right? And so you're able to get these, and they're, you know, taste really good.
Yeah, and that one was actually pretty cheap. So again, we'll do a calculation for you in another video that shows you how to get, but those were actually cheaper than fresh. So what Lonnie's saying is, hey, I got this here. I can, you know, have it in winter. Yeah. You know, anytime.
Not strawberry season.
Yes, and you can make things with it, like jam, and you can make all kinds. You can eat them. They're great. Yep. So yeah, it's especially when things are off season and you want them, right? I want to have strawberries when they're not in season, and I don't want to pay $8 for a
You've been waiting for it. You know?
Right.
It's like turkey. You know, I only want turkey once a year. But
Me too.
By the time I get there, I'm ready for it. But
That's
after
true.
that, I'm done.
Exactly. All right, the next one is cooking flexibility. So that's number 14.
14, nice.
All right. So we're just talking about here with just being creative in the kitchen. So if you have, you know, mushrooms on hand, you can throw them in things. If you have strawberries on hand, you can sprinkle them on the top. You can have a little bit of creativity in anything that you do.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have it, and it's all prepped, and you can just go without having to break into it. So, okay, number 15. There we go. Gift giving. What better gift than food, right?
That's true.
Everyone's hungry, and these are all done and prepped, and it's pretty special. And I think they're great because, you know, they're something that people aren't really thinking about, and especially, you know. So.
And to be clear, we're not giving like our friends a whole tub of this.
No.
So what I usually do is like I'll get a bunch of ingredients, so bulk ingredients, maybe some flours, some chocolate chips, some brown sugar, some regular sugar, and I will like layer that into a jar and make that beautiful, and then it will be gift giving to somebody to how to make, you know, cookies with like a little recipe on it. Really super cute.
Well, I like that. Thanks for the clarity. I was thinking I was handing someone a can. So.
Yeah, you don't usually do the gifting.
I don't.
Maybe I should have did this one.
Yeah.
Another thing you could do is like if you wanted to give them a can
put a
which
bow
is
on
totally okay,
Yep.
and you can put a bow on it. If you want to give Lonnie some emergency long-term
I'll
food,
take it.
he will take it all day long. But like another thing, like let's say you had the strawberries and you had, let's say, the bananas. Okay.
Man. Here we go.
Okay, now I'm mixing dehydrated with freeze-dried, so it's a little bit of an issue, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But maybe you could layer a little bit of the banana chips in a really beautiful pint-sized jar, then layer some strawberries, or you could just throw the strawberries in a pint-sized jar and put a little bow on it.
They're pretty. They're really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what cool thing about, side note, is on the freeze drying, the colors are
beautiful.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like
you don't lose it doesn't take out like
Yeah,
nutrients, right?
That's true. But the bananas here, they are a little bit brown.
Yeah.
So if they're yellow, okay,
Yeah.
they're yellow.
Bananas are yellow.
Right? Yeah. But if you were to get the freeze-dried bananas, those are going to be like almost kind of white, like
right.
nice and crisp.
Like your perfect banana and you slice it that color.
Yeah, except for all dried up.
Yeah.
Right. So you can do that. You can also like, put this in a pint-sized jar, grab a box of like strawberry cake mix, and give it to somebody. All different kinds of things for gift giving. Absolutely.
That's what she does.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. So now we're going to do 16. How do we do 16? Because I only have 16. There, 16.
Nice.
Is that good? 16.
Yeah.
So number 16, supporting local agriculture. So sometimes you can buy in bulk from your local CSAs or from your farmers markets and things like that. So that's just another way to buy in bulk. Yeah, and that's the fresh stuff. So if you're going to buy the fresh stuff, learn how to preserve it. So if you want some videos on that, let us know. We've been preserving for years.
Yes. So I'm going to do this one. 17.
Good
right?
one.
You got it.
I
17.
like that one.
There we go. Sharing with others. So if that's what's nice about it is that you don't feel like you don't have enough food.
Yeah,
and so then you can, if someone's in need or something, you have an ability to share it with others.
Exactly.
That's what you're speaking to, right?
Yeah, exactly. If someone comes to your house and they need a stick of butter, but you don't have any butter, at least you got the canned butter.
Yeah, exactly.
You got the ghee would be a canned butter or the powdered butter. You could give that to them as well. So you could share it with others. Absolutely. Good idea.
Yeah.
How would you do 8? I think I'm on 18. How would you do that?
I think I'd have to help here.
Okay, 18. So 18 is reducing exposure to market fluctuations. We talked a little bit about this when we were talking about eggs and how eggs, due to certain things, right? Eggs have gone up in price, right? So this is just really helpful with that.
Oh yeah. So let's see. 19. You want to do the 1, and I'm going to do a 9. Okay, that's pretty sad. We'll work on that one. But space efficiency. You could imagine, you're trying to do fresh stuff. That's all got to go in the fridge.
Right.
And you get these things, these cans, you can go on the shelf.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
Oh, I love that thought. Yeah.
That was a little different what you're thinking.
That really was a lot. So what I was thinking was that, you would buy, when you buy like a lot of cereal boxes, let's say you're buying cereal boxes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there's so many of these boxes.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like lining your shelf. Right? Whereas opposed to getting a Tupperware and, kind of,
for sure,
putting them all and getting like a big bag of Fruit Loops.
Yep.
Right? You could put them all in just one little container and that would save space. So that was just one
thing.
I
get it. Yeah, that makes sense too. Totally.
But I like where you're going with this because I don't think we actually talked about this. But, a lot of times when we're camping or when we're van lifing it, we don't have a lot of refrigerator storage. So that's one of the reasons why we like the powdered eggs is because we can whip those up without having to store them in a refrigerator. So that's another
or even
a bonus one for you.
Yeah,
bonus.
or even like the meats and stuff that we have. They're jarred, right? So then you don't have to keep that in the fridge until you're ready to eat it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
Kind of storing otherwise. So is this you?
This is me.
Okay.
So number 20.
I'll be the 0.
Number 20.
20.
So 20 is you can make these food mixes. So I talked a little bit about that earlier, but one of the things I like to do, especially when I'm traveling, is make things ahead of time. So I might get a bunch of bulk food and make like a canned delicious bean recipe or something like that, and then I can it, or my soups, right? I'll throw like some mushrooms in there, or I'll throw some rice in there, whatever. Make some canned soups.
All it needs is water.
Where all it needs is water, or maybe I'll do where all you need is water. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like the Bear Creek soup kind of deal.
Right. Yeah. Those packs you get, you're doing that out of stuff that you got.
Right, and so you just have them and ready to go.
Yeah, and they taste better because you're putting in the stuff you want.
Yeah,
and isn't always some of those things like, man, I don't want as much as that. It's like, well, you have the control now.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. And the last one.
Okay, 21. Boom, boom, boom. Long shelf life. We kind of premised it early on, but like a lot of these things, the 30 years, the mushrooms are 30 years. You always kind of know your shelf life if you're looking on the bottom like even of the cans, and this is what, December of 2026. So as opposed to having fresh stuff, that stuff just, you have to use it.
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
away.
you know, talk about bananas.
We love it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
honestly,
fresh is great.
We love, and in fact, we usually shop the fresh
Oh yeah.
around in the store.
Yep.
But these are, you know, again, 21 reasons why you might want to have it anyways.
Yeah, it's a backup. All of a sudden you go to the store and man, the bananas are all like either green or just not pleasant looking.
And they're actually increased in price,
Yeah,
which we
and
talked
they
about
went
that
up.
too. I mean,
Yeah,
they used to be like 50 cents a pound. Now, yesterday they were like 65 cents a pound.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh,
Still good price.
Yes.
Still good price.
Yep. But still.
I know. It keeps going
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So.
Ain't getting raises like that.
Yeah. I ain't getting raises like
Nope.
that. No, you aren't either.
Nope.
So those are 21 reasons to get some long-term food storage without being like a doomsday prepper. If you have other reasons, we would love to hear them.
Oh yeah.
In the
comments down here.
Yeah, be
and
sure.
make sure you subscribe.
Oh yeah, don't
you
forget to
haven't found us,
subscribe.
yeah.
And
Click
don't
the
forget to
little thing
like.
this. You have to like it.
Other than that, I think we'll see
Yeah.
you next time. Don't forget that you are truly loved and blessed.
Yes.
And we just hope that you'll take it one
One
blessed step at a time. All right, have a lovely day.
Bye.
Goodbye.